Hi again, this is Rabbi Tobin at B'nai Shalom in West Orange, and I'm continuing my series helping us to prepare for the High Holy Days. One of the most lengthy and involved portions of the service on Rosh Hashanah is, of course, the Mustaf Service. The Mustaf Service happens after the morning Shacharit, after the morning Amidah, after the shofar blowing, after the Torah reading, after the sermon, and therefore is one of the exit moments for people attending services in person. I have bad news for you this year because you can't get up and leave services after the sermon because you're already home. So, God willing, you won't just walk away from the computer at that point, but you'll stick around because the afternoon service really is where the themes of Rosh Hashanah in the prayer service happen in their grandeur for the first time. And these are the most important themes. The themes are Malkhuyot, Zichronot, Shofarot. That is to say, God as a king, God of memory, and God in that call of the shofar. So today I want to talk about kingship. Looks good, right? Unfortunately, no, I was not born to be a king. And neither were you, and neither was anybody else in this world, in truth. In medieval times, a king was somebody who was born, or through power assumed, the role of, in Europe at least, divinity on earth. We are not allowed to think of people this way. No human being is infallible, and nobody gets to rule just because they say so. In fact, the power of kings rested on two things: sworn loyalty by other powerful people who had armies and so forth to support and enforce the king because it was in their best interest to do so, or economics. The king owned massive areas of land, businesses, resources. So through economic power and through loyalty, military power, the king could be a dictator and enforce whatever they wish. That is not the view of the king in our Torah, because the king in our Torah is often a problem. From Pharaoh in Egypt to King Saul, who wheeled and dealed with Amalek for his own good, to even King David, who Chronicles would have us believe was the greatest, most pure servant of God who ever lived, and yet we know his dalliance with Bathsheba, his wars that were not commanded. He was in many ways a deeply flawed person, not one to follow in everything that he does. On the contrary, however, we are reaffirmed on Rosh Hashanah that there really is only one king, and that king is God, God in heaven. And I know that sounds, a little maybe too religious for a lot of people. But if you think about kingship as power, and you think about the universe as being incredibly larger and more powerful than any one of us, we ultimately can't fight against the universe. The universe is going to win. We can't fight against our own physicality and our own mortality. Our physicality and our mortality are going to win against us at some point. What we are taught, however, is that this greater power in which we live, this power that creates the universe and your body and puts our lives together in these circumstances, that is a power that we need to answer to, because that power, that divinity, gives us the opportunity within that kingdom, this universe, to do everything possible that is good and right. Every complaint you have about the world is yours to fix, because it's only loyalty to injustice or loyalty to greed, like the medieval kings who were propped up by loyalty, selfishness, and greed. It is only those loyalties that create the injustices in the world. And so the true king on high has already told you that which is right and that which we should do. And the truth is, we need that reminder on a regular basis, and at the very least at Rosh Hashanah. So no matter how much I take the compliment that you stay not just for the Torah reading, but for the rabbi's sermon on Rosh Hashanah, I want you to stay through Musaf, because this declaration of kingship, of acknowledging the true power of the universe is bigger than us, and recognizing that we live in a kingdom where we are servants willing to do what is right, that we are going to hear the message of Rosh Hashanah in its reality. So we crown God King on this first day of the new year a coronation ceremony in which we declare his justice and we welcome him in the Musaf. I'll be talking about Zichronot and Shofarot in the next 2 days. In the meantime, Kitiva Tova, I wish you nothing but good health and happiness in the year ahead.